Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back here to today's edition of The Fishing Teacher, and really appreciate you guys coming by the channel to spend some time with me on the video today. We are going to be talking about mono today, guys. Is mono dead? Is there a place for it? When do you want to use it? Is it worth, using at all? Sort of have a little conversation of that in today's video, sort of give you guys my opinion on it. Also, guys, one quick housekeeping tips before we get started, guys. I'd just like to invite you to swing by Tackle Warehouse and check out my new Blaukat throwback jig from Cumberland Pro Lures. We're in we're in October right now. October and November are probably my two favorite times of the year to fish jigs. So we got a wide selection, 6 different colors, guys. Live rubber, the most lifelike material you can use for a jig, hand-tied skirt. So I'll put my Blaukat throwback jig link in the description if you guys like to pick up a couple there. And 2 different colors you might want to try, guys, is the green and chartreuse, brown and orange. Those are 2 of my favorite colors this time of year. Also black and chartreuse if the water's dirty, so much appreciated there. Okay guys, mono line. This is what I used to use all the time, guys. Back in the day, 30-pound test, high blue strand line. I used that for a decade for most all my fishing. But, now I use Seaguar and VizX Fluorocarbon line almost exclusively. So let's talk a little bit about mono. What the deal is it something that you even need to mess with anymore if you don't need to mess with it? There's a pretty wide-ranging conversation here because we'll talk about the economics of it, then we'll talk about the practical applications. For the practical applications, yes, there still is a place for mono, and that is for topwater fishing. If you guys fish topwater baits for those lures that rest on the surface like that when you're not moving them, like a popper or some type of a Zara spook or something like that, a wake bait, mono is really good because it tends to float and fluorocarbon will sink a little bit. So I still use mono for topwater lures. That's about the only time that I do use it. Some people still use it a little bit for crankbait fishing, like for square bill fishing on a short line because it has a little bit more stretch. But the main thing is, like, as a consumer, how big of a part is this going to play in your fishing in terms of the overall success that you have, if you should mess with it or not? So the first thing I'm going to say, guys, is for overall bass fishing, for almost every technique out there except for topwater bass fishing, fluorocarbon fishing line is the way to go. It's a superior product as far as for fishing. It's got thinner diameter, it's invisible in the water, it's got less stretch. It's really, it gets you more bites a lot of times. It'll get the bait deeper with heavier line, and it also, the invisibility and the small diameter and the sensitivity, it just adds up to more strikes and more, strike detection. So if you can afford to get fluorocarbon line, it is worth it. Now, fluorocarbon is a little bit, can be, depending upon what you're using, can be, a little bit or a lot more expensive than mono. My line that I use all the time, guys, the Seaguar and VizX line. I'll link that in the description if you guys are interested in that. But I'll be honest with you. If you're just once in a while bass fisherman, say you fish ponds or you wade ponds or wade creeks and you're not real serious about it, but you like to get out there once a month fishing, you're probably okay with mono. You're probably okay with just having a not spending quite as much on your fishing line simply because if you're just fun fishing, it's not maybe going to be that big of a deal. But if you have any type of seriousness to your fishing and you really want to maximize how many fish you catch, you're going to be much better off going with fluorocarbon. I use braided line a little bit, braided line for like topwater frogs, flipping thick mats. But overall, in terms of like the usage that I have for an entire year, I bet probably 95% of my fishing is done with Seaguar and VizX fluorocarbon line, and 2.5% of it is done with mono, and 2.5% of it's done with braided line. That's sort of the breakup. So 95% of the time, I do use fluorocarbon line. And I think in terms of the overall catch rate, in terms of like the ability to set the hook better and detect strike better and get more strikes because of the small diameter and invisibility, I bet if I would throw nothing but mono, and that was the only thing that I threw, and let's say that I caught 500 bass in one year, if I used nothing but fluorocarbon line in that same year, I probably would have caught, at least 50 to 75% more bass. I just really believe that because I noticed the difference when I started using fluorocarbon, which was back in the 90s. I noticed a significant difference in how many fish I caught, how many fish I landed, and the efficiency of your bait all over. But anyway, guys, there still is a place, man. If you're a budget angler, you don't want to spend a lot of money on fish and line, you know, you can get away with mono. You can use mono and everything if you want to. I did for years. But if you're semi-serious or serious about your fishing, you're going to be better off with fluorocarbon. So hope it helps out, guys. We'll talk later.